All right, so we're now out here. It's nighttime. We've gone through with our low light sort of lesson of learning, how to get the most out of the low light situations when shooting at night. So we're out here at the Donut Man, which, oddly enough, Elvis used to come by here on his way between LA and Palm Springs. So we figured it's kind of a fun thing out here in San Dimas to take a photo of. Um, I've set up my camera. I'm at ISO 6400, 1/100th of a second shutter, and f2.8, so wide open for this lens. I am on a 16 to 35 though, and so I want to get a little bit closer. We don't want to bring the camera out there, so I'm just going to hop out into the middle divider, take a quick shot, and then come back to sort of talk about what type of results I'm getting. All right, so there's no traffic, and I'm just going to walk across the street. And there's no cars coming for a long time, so I'm just going to kneel down right here. And really, when it comes to this type of photography, being nice and low, I feel like really makes it just seem a little bit bigger. Cool. Now, the one thing I'm running into is that the lighting from the actual restaurant is pretty bright. And so I'm having to stop down. It's really nice though, you have these people walking across the screen. I was on 35, so I was fairly wide. I'm shooting raw, so I didn't want to be standing in the street, which is where I would have liked to have been. But because I'm shooting raw, I know I can kind of go in and crop in later. So I'll make sure to do that once I'm doing post on these photos. It's really nice though, because it's so well lit for the restaurant that off to the sides is falling off, and it really made it seem like the Donut Man was this lone building in the middle of a dark void. It had a really cool look to it, and you had these people walking in front of it. I think the photos came out really nicely. As I said, I got a little bit lower just to make the building seem a little bit bigger, and waited for cars to pass so I didn't have anything distracting in front of my frame. One thing I did realize upon looking at my photos is that at the shutter speed I was at, once I sort of sped it up, I started to see a rolling, these sort of dark lines and then brighter line, dark line, brighter line. You can see that in this image here. And what that is from the type of lights they are, the refresh rate or the flicker of the light, which the human eye doesn't see, but your camera can see when you're at a higher shutter speed. So what I really should have done, and what I'm going to go back and do right now, is bring my shutter speed down, bring my f-stop up. So that's how I'm going, by having a lower shutter speed, I'm going to have more light, stop down so I have less light, and hopefully with that I won't have this rolling, flickering effect from the lights. So once this car leaves, I'm going to go do that, and I should be able to get some pretty cool shots at that point. All right, so we switched sides of the road. I actually ended up coming and standing kind of in the street to get this shot just because I wasn't really happy with how far away I was. So ended up getting very low to the ground, went to 16 millimeters, super wide, and it gives the building this like bigger, larger than life presence. It also helped me crop out the sides, so it was just sort of sitting there in this black void, and I think it came out to look pretty cool. Again, just remembering what ISO are you comfortable with shooting at. I knew I could do 6400, so I set it at that and forgot about my ISO. From there, it was figuring out what the shutter speed was going to be right for these types of lights. I ended up going to 1/100th, and then I just adjusted my f-stop accordingly. I ended up shooting at an f4, which was just right for getting the exposure there. So again, just remembering these things. If I had to go to a lower shutter speed, I would have gotten a tripod, but because I was still, there's enough light, it's a bright enough building, I didn't need that tripod. So keep these tips in mind for the next time you're out shooting at night. Always make sure to be aware of your surroundings, check your settings, make sure you're comfortable and not going to have too much digital noise. And if you need a tripod, use a tripod, but if you're at a fast enough shutter speed, then you don't need one.